civil rights organization in the nation. I stand before you today because I love this country enough to hold it accountable. We've all heard the words that built this nation. They were read from parchment, recited in classrooms, sung before games and ceremonies, words that promised freedom, equality, unity, and justice. But today we must ask, are they still true? Do we live them or just repeat them? Because from the Declaration of Independence to the Pledge of Allegiance to the Bill of Rights to the National Anthem, each was meant to define us, and yet each now reveals how far we've drifted from what we were meant to be. The Declaration says, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." Those words weren't just poetry, they were protests, a declaration against a king, a vow that no man, no tyrant, no ruling elite would ever again dictate the lives of the people. But centuries later, we face a new generation of kings. They don't wear crowns, they wield power, wealth, and propaganda. They silence truth, suppress votes, and pit neighbor against neighbor. We were promised a government of the people, by the people, for the people. Instead, we are living under one of the powerful, by the powerful, and for the powerful. Say it with me, no kings over the people.
No kings over the people.
Then we were taught to pledge. One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. But let's break it down. One nation, not one party. One nation, not one race. Not one gender, not one language. One nation, whether you were born here, crossed oceans to get here, citizen or immigrant, documented or undocumented. And yet we see people snatched off the streets, torn from their children, and labeled animals and criminals to make them seem less than human. And when people are seen as less than human, it becomes easy to justify inhumane acts against them. We've seen this before, haven't we? Dehumanization always comes before the unthinkable atrocities. It's how they get good people to stay silent under God. Now I too am a Christian, which is what they claim to be. But my God, through his love, gives us freedom to choose. Under God was meant to remind us of decency, to honor life, to speak truth, to love your neighbors and protect the vulnerable. But in the name of that same God, this nation has condoned hate and violence. We've watched leaders wink at white supremacy, shrug at acts of political violence, and excuse mobs that attack the very heart of our democracy. We've seen people praised for speaking lies and punished for telling the truth. They invoke his name, but they do not live his word. The Bible, the book they claim to follow, the prophet Micah warned long ago when leaders of his day grew rich through corruption and claimed God's blessings while exploiting the poor. He said, "And what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, to love mercy, to walk humbly with your God." He was saying then what we must remember now. God is not impressed by power and performance. He requires justice, mercy, and humility, not arrogance, cruelty, or control. They need to read the book that they profess to proclaim. Because centuries later, John echoed that truth when the early church claimed to love God but despised one another. He said, whoever claims to love God yet hates a brother or sister is a liar. So let's stop letting liars use the name of God as their license to harm. They invoke his name, but they ignore his heart. He healed the sick and welcomed the stranger, stood up for the oppressed. He called for justice, not chaos, compassion, not cruelty. Say it with me, under God means under decency.
Under God means under decency.
Now, indivisible. Indivisible, and yet we are a nation divided like I have never seen before in my lifetime. Divided by race, divided by gender, divided by politics, divided by design. Because if they can divide us, they can distract us. And if they can distract us, they can control us. We have become a people shouting across the aisles instead of reaching across the hands. The truth, strength isn't found in uniformity, it's found in unity. Say it loud, indivisible means we won't be divided.
Indivisible means we won't be divided.
With liberty and justice for all. All, not some, not the billionaires, not the well-connected, not those in the right zip code, not those with the right skin tone. Where is the liberty and justice when families are separated at the border? Where is liberty and justice when black men are imprisoned for crimes others get probation for? Where is liberty and justice when the LGBTQ communities are terrorized? Where is liberty and justice when women lose control of their own bodies and doctors are threatened for doing their jobs? Where is liberty and justice when teachers are silenced and journalists are targeted? And disagreeing with power can cost you your livelihood. Is this America? Is this the America we were promised? Or the warning signs of something we once fought to defeat?
Nazis, Hitler.
And let's not forget the Constitution. The rule book meant to keep power in check, not the people. It begins with 3 simple words: we the people. Not we the politicians, not we the privileged, not we the corporations, but we the people. Woo! The Constitution was meant to protect us from tyranny, to ensure checks and balances, accountability and justice. But look at what's happening now. They twist laws to serve their own agendas. They gerrymander districts to silence votes. They weaponize courts to push ideology instead of impartiality. They manipulate policy to benefit the few instead of many. Rules that were meant to limit government have been turned into tools to limit us. We were meant to have a government that answers to the people, but instead it's a people constantly having to answer to power. Say it again, no kings,
No kings.
no rulers,
No rulers.
no unchecked power.
No unchecked power.
No more Hitler.
Its Bill of Rights was written to give us free speech, freedom of press, freedom to assemble, and yes,